Hello everybody, this is Grumpy Old Guy Gaming, once again back with the Learning to Die Less series, where I play a Wave Master here on the .hack fragment. Today we are in the Cypheria server, so if you're hosting the Cypheria server, thank you very much. Level 9, as you could see, we've done a little bit of leveling since our last video, which means that our intended goal in the title is in fact paying off. Going through a couple of our spells here, we've upgraded some of our equipment, which means we've lost Gan-Rom, our Earth Element tornado. Picked up Ru-Rom, which is an Ice Element tornado. Again, running with Larepth for multiplayer play. Could save myself a little mana by using any heavy equipment with Repth, but going with Larepth. And then I've got Vakdon and Vak Cruz, so twice the fire, twice the fun. Going to the Chaos Gate here, going to look for a keyword in the level 8 to 9 area. Feel like a bit of a challenge today. Happy Fragment Friday for those watching this on the day it drops. There we are, plenty of smiling fort walls. Sounds like a nice happy place with very little imminent danger around every corner. Level 9 fire element, let's go. And we get to the field, and there's already something very loud in the background. It's something large, and it's a Fiend Menhir. Followed by a Rockhead. Priority here being the Menhir, so it doesn't revive the Rockhead when I kill it. Fire damage doing a good chunk of health off of the Rockhead there. Now I'm going to try grabbing a Fairy's Orb and seeing the portals on the field, and it's not too long before another Menhir shows up. So in the first 30 seconds I'm already running for my life like crazy. Incidentally, these are personally two of my least favorite enemies to face at low levels. They're just tough to deal with. Already draining some resources here, popping a quick potion and Mage's Soul, because when you're out on the field, monsters could attack at any point. Gonna make our way over to this portal here and see what comes out. Oh joy, we're 3 for 3 on the enemies I hate list, as there's a trifecta of mimics. Does not take long for me to get confused, and if you recall from our previous videos, confusion is an absolute pain with the Wave Master, as his physical defenses are just so poor. Quickly run myself out of skill points here, so I potion and Mage's Soul up before taking them down with some frosty little ice tornadoes. Weird that a regular chest comes out of a mimic. I guess at that point I defeated it, it just stays still. Gonna wander around this field, very much not living up to that gentle name. Passed up the symbol there, sort of chased away by more mimics. This one with a Fiend Menhir as well, so I'm gonna be very cautious here and try and isolate one of the three. Not going to be super successful in that endeavor, especially not early on. Just playing cautious here because, again, soloing, if I die, that's 1,000 experience lost and a level down. Can't really afford it, and that's one of the main advantages to partying up in Fragment. So I strongly encourage, if you plan on playing this game, grab a friend or head to the Discords, either the .hack network Discord or the Fragment Resurgence one. See if you can party up with some people. Just have somebody to watch your back in case you take a nasty crit. So we're again trying the old trying the cat and mouse game here. Finally got a little distance between the mimics and the Menhir, so I'm gonna try my best to take out the Menhir here without drawing the mimics' attention. I could have just ran away and ran for the dungeon. I suppose that was an option, but I don't know. Long day today. Work was kinda crazy. Just sort of felt like throwing spells at things. here we go for the mimics and find ourselves with another Minier. And find ourselves confused, no lie, panicking like crazy there. Thought the run was over and learning to die less would have yet another character death on the records. Fortunately, I got away. The odds were in my favor there, I suppose. And I was luckily able to finish it off. This time I get a trap chest. And inside is a worm hide. More heavy armor for the Wave Master, but that's okay because it'll allow me to sell the worm hide back in town if I so choose and recoup some of the gold for the items. Here we have a Minier isolated, and that is no problem to take down on its own. Or so I thought. It apparently survived with 1 hit point. Circle around, take it out there. Getting a decent amount of experience from these things. And fitting. Oh no, Melon's on the field. Oh no seems to be correct. Grab the oh no melons here. And coming up on another portal here. See what comes out. We've got a rockhead and a Minier. Do some damage to the rockhead. Not really my goal. I just sort of took a poor angle there and decided to fire off a spell rather than try and run. Finish off the Minier, and the bonus is now we've got the rockhead at half health. Drop a fireball on it and that will finish it off for 12 more experience. Heal and Mage's Soul, and we will continue on our way. Got a spring of mist down in the corner there. Gonna wander our way in that direction, pick up another oh no melon, and run into another oh no Minier. At this point, I'm pretty mentally and emotionally done with this field. Not my favorite enemies in the least here, but we are soldiering through, getting a good bit of experience on the way, inching closer to that level 10 mark. Gonna pop open the spring, but first I'm gonna make sort of a risky move. I know everything's live in the field, and it wouldn't be the first time I would get jumped at a spring, but I decided it's worth the risk nonetheless. See what I could get out of this Wand of Wisdom. It's a sunny day field, so weapons should be upgraded if they are able to be done so. Not sure if that sentence worked, sounded weird coming out. Let me know in the comments below if that was poor grammar. Going through Mashur's little spiel here, so glad it's not voiced over. That's a personal preference of mine. The voices were a little grating for me in the PS2 games. I remember in Sign there's that scene where Tsukasa activates a spring and just starts trying to flail on Mashur, and that would so be me. Turns out he was not able to do anything with the Wand of Wisdom, so I got it back, yay me, and I got a golden axe and a silver axe in return, which I will hold on to for potential trade for some decent items in the single-player campaign. Unfortunately, since I changed the equipment, I have to go back and reset my shortcuts. Now that that's done, we will continue on with this field. Here's a rockhead. Get a good bit of damage on it early. It takes a fair chunk out of me, but combat is handled all in all hassle-free. Cast Larept here for a quick heal. So a fun little trick I didn't remember, because I think it was a different button. I want to say in the PlayStation 2 games the select button allowed you to change the map. Here, hitting the L1 and R1, the upper shoulder buttons, simultaneously allows you to cycle through the map. So I chose the zoomed out map here so I could see where the rest of these portals were. Before, I would just sort of pick a corner of the map since I knew it wrapped around and just run in that diagonal until I eventually hit something. Here's a trap chest, a little bit of welcome respite here, and I almost use a mage's soul on it. Pick up another worm hide and go to the portal right next to it. This one is populated by a rockhead and a mimic. Not the worst pairing overall, given what this field could throw, so just sort of do my best to get to that mimic and take both it and the rockhead out on the same spell. Can't really argue with that, and let's go ahead and pop this trap chest open and see what we get. First to heal, and now a mage's soul. Excellent. Picking a consumable is sort of like getting coupons to your favorite fast food place. Not the most exciting gift on the planet, but it's practical and you'll use it in about 20 minutes. Here we have a Menhir and a Mimic, with another Mimic and a Rockhead coming in from outside. So I am going to very valorously run the opposite direction. And fortunately the Rockhead and Mimic seem to get bored, and I am to a one-on-one encounter with a Mimic. He confuses me, so I decide to just poke it with my stick for a bit. That not being very successful, I go and heal, and it has confused me again. I hate confusion. Potion up again, and take out the Mimic. Now we're up against Mimic number 2 and the Rockhead. Doing my best to keep the health as full as possible in fear of any confusion. Didn't happen to notice that the Mimic had wandered off again, giving me a fairly safe battle with that Rockhead there. Now I'm up against the Mimic and just piling the damage on. Get rid of it in short order there. Portal, I guess it would be due east if the top of the map is north as a reference. Wander that way and see what we got. In the direction of the dungeon anyway. Got a couple of Rockheads and a Mimic, and that's all field portals opened. Music to my ears. More than happy to head into the dungeon at this point. First, a bit of confusion, yet another minor moment of panic for me. But we get out, and I health drink like crazy. Go ahead and take down the first Rockhead, and then the Mimic, and then the second. The ROM spells, the elemental tornadoes, cannot speak highly enough of them. Very accurate, very consistent, not the flashiest graphic in the world, and once again, not dropping a giant skull on tiny goblins, but you have what you have. Here I finally remember to pick up a symbol, and am rewarded with some water element buff. Not the most helpful thing defensively, but it could help in a pinch with damage on a fire element field. And we're coming up to a rather embarrassing moment here where I forgot to zoom back in on the map and thought the wrong landmark was the dungeon. Yeah, dungeons are fairly easy to find. They have those entrances with the little yellow streams of light on either side, and it's almost impossible to run around the wrong landmark 2 to 3 times looking for the entrance. Unless, of course, again, you had a pretty long, almost 10 hours at work and came home and recorded this after dinner. Just a hypothetical. So we finally found the entrance to the dungeon, and we will head inside. This video brought to you by The World. This portal has a couple more Fiend Menhirs. Generally, when there's 2 of them, I try to get them close together, so they're sort of trapped in the same spell timing. Hit for a little bonus damage on the second one there and got a simultaneous kill. Can't really argue with that. Move on to the next room and we get a treasure chest. Pick up a meteor swarm. Meteor swarms, I believe, sell for 100 back in town, so it's a little bit of money in the bank there. And here's some snakeoids, which are very much weak to water element spells. So finish them off with a couple Roo-Roms in short order, and a fireball takes out the rockhead. Picking up a decent amount of experience here, and we've got a couple different directions we could go at the moment. Going to take my time choosing, allow my mana to, my skill points, sorry. Allow them to naturally regenerate till I'm well up over 20, so I have at least 2 damage spells ready to go for when this portal activates. Now we are one-on-one with a Fiend Minear, almost take it out with one Roo-Rom and finish it off with a Vac Cruise. I believe Vac Cruise is the one with the little fires that all just rush in. I think Vac Dawn is where you're dropping the fireball from above. If I'm wrong, feel free to tell me below. If I'm right, feel free to tell me below as well. Or just don't. You're your own person, I think. So I'm going to smash up this Corpse Warrior here and get some burning oil. Moving into the next room. And there's the stairs down, but we're going to be a little completionist today. Going to go back and see what else is on this floor. For those other players who may not know, you could just hit a Fairy's Orb here, and that will show you the whole floor layout, so you don't have to do any backtracking unless you really want to. Fortunately for me, there wasn't too much to do, just a treasure room off to the side here. Pick up a bloody egg and crack a couple just breakable eggs. I've never been one to use those though myself, the Fairy's Orb for the floor levels. Never did it when I first started playing Infection, and I generally just not that concerned about the overall layout. If I'm going to run it, I've certainly got the time to do so, and if I don't have the time, I'm just going to the bottom. Second floor of the dungeon now. Get through this little first room. And we've got a long corridor with a portal in the middle. Coming out are 2 shield men, which seem to be a great deal easier with Roo-Rom than they were with Gamrom. So already the upgrade in equipment and the water element tornado seem to be really paying off this dungeon, as we are getting some kills in dungeon a lot quicker than usual, and handled some really nasty, dangerous encounters out in the field. I once again get turned around on one of these little curved rooms. I don't know why, I just don't process them well. There's another chest, we'll open it up, and the death has been acquired, but only in the consumable sense. Once again, allow my skill points to regenerate after a rep to bring me back up to 204 hit points. Take a moment, chill out. On to the next. In this next room we have not too much of anything. There's a breakable item and a room down, and in this room is a portal. We have a little bend here. A couple more shield men. This one survives the first Roo-Rom, does not survive the second. There was Protect Break. And one hit kill for the second shield man. Fully intended to do some data draining, see if we could get ourselves a rare item. Did not come about this time. So we'll just take that as a little extra experience saved up. Again, working our way from level 9 to 10. And here's the treasure room. Was not expecting it after only 2 floors, but we will take it. Picked up a couple health drinks. We'll see if we could wear those gloves. As you can see, the cougar bandana, the winter coat, and a frost bracer and a fossil bracer. We cannot wear the fishing gloves. Ceramic anklet rounds out our equipment. So let's go back and finish out this dungeon. For those wondering, we won't quite make it to level 10 in this installment. Pick up another burning oil here. And in the next room we have a medium-sized corridor populated with a shield man and a rock head. A few spells take them out. The rock man hangs in there pretty tough. Shield man went down pretty early. And we move on to the next. Here we pick up the Death. The Death has once again been acquired from a treasure chest here. Heading into this large room, portal at the back. And we've got a few snakeoids, and that's all dungeon portals opened. So we're just going to clear out this room here. Again, didn't quite make it to level 10, but a successful field and dungeon clear nonetheless. This is the latest installment in the Learning to Die Less series. For those of you watching, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed watching as much as I enjoyed recording. This has been a grumpy old guy. Have yourself a wonderful Fragment Friday, and we will catch you next time.